Hello everyone, welcome to DM Car Reviews. Today we have a 2023 Volvo XC60 B5 Plus Bright on our channel. I would like to thank Darcars Volvo of Rockville for providing me this car. All the information about them and links will be provided down below. So today we will look at the exterior of the car, the interior, trunk, engine. I will tell you my first initial impressions of the car, about its interior, how it drives. After that we will go for a quiet POV drive. We will do some 0 to 60 tests with Draggy, and to wrap up everything I will talk about my final impressions of the car, what I liked, what I disliked, and what I would change. Please enjoy the view and make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Enjoy. All right, so sitting in the cabin of this 2023 Volvo XC60, what can I say is the first thing I notice? A completely different infotainment. This is entirely different from what Volvo had in 2021 or 2022. This is actually the Google interface. So we have Google Maps. As you can see, it even says Google in the middle, and sort of like BMW styled dials. So you have the left dial showing the speed climbing up, and the right side is showing the RPMs, which are climbing up. Interesting design solution, very original. I don't think Volvo's ever had a car with that kind of design. So I think that is nice, stylish. Review privacy settings, come on. Okay, close. This is a big map. Very big screen and good HD quality. I give it a thumbs up. Let's see if we can put on satellite. Oh, wonderful. Oh, that is nice. This looks beautiful. So as far as the materials, everywhere is soft touch. So these are all soft materials. Here. This is the speaker. This does not have the Harman Kardon or Bowers & Wilkins. This is leather. We have automatic windows, power folding mirrors, so they will actually fold when you lock the car if you have that setting on. And the panoramic sunroof has this swipe feature to it, so it's not an actual button that it used to have before. We have our visors with lights. Our cup holders, another holder for a square drink, I guess, or a gum cup. I don't know what that is for, but we have our cigarette lighter. Here you can put the small iPhone or other gadget. Again, I don't see a drive mode selector, so it must be somewhere in the settings. Okay, let's see. Owner, let's see how this settings, probably in the settings. That's where the drive mode is. Yes, driving. So drive mode, off-road mode is off. Steering assist, let's keep it off. We have lane keeping aid, road sign information, which will show the speed limits on the dashboard. Radio drive notifications. So I'm not seeing a designated sport mode here. Controls. Well, I guess we have drive and dynamic braking. Yeah, we only have the steering feel firm, so this is supposed to tighten it up when you're driving. Sound adjustments. This does not have the concert hall, since it does not come with the Bowers & Wilkins in this specific car. Okay, we have our climate settings here. I like this image, looks cool. We have AC, dual zone climate. Our camera, we only have a backup in this specific car, no 360. The camera does have good quality. It's crystal clear, has the parking lines to it as well. All right, so we have our different apps here. We have Google Assistant, Car Status Play Store, Sirius, air quality. Cool. Let's look at the glove box. Generous sized glove box. Always love that about Volvos. Super practical cars. Or auto dimming display. Even if I turn off the headlights completely, it still auto dims regardless. So it doesn't change anything. The only issue with this cabin color is it's gonna get dirty very fast. When I worked for Volvo many years ago, we'd have the 2018s come back after leases, and the interiors on these were trashed. You could see all the dirt everywhere on the seats, especially after owners who were not careful about how they use their cars. Now the black interior or the dark brown interiors, they show the dirt way less, so they're much more practical. They're easier to keep clean. Especially my favorite color is amber on the interior of this car. I think it makes the car look like a stunner. The steering wheel comes in two colors, so you got your black and your beige two-tone. You got your finger rests here. You feel nice, solid, big, comfortable steering wheel. Volvo. I roll. I roll. Just so you know, it's actually a Swedish word. All right, well, let's go Volvo. But this really cracked me up. This is a very unique shifter. I don't think I've seen anyone use this kind of shifter. Like, interesting. At first I thought it was solid here, but it's actually not. It has a hole. We have our auto brake hold, electronic parking brake. So let's go into drive mode. We have our headlight washers, and the nice thing about Volvo wipers is that the washers are actually built into the wipers. So during the winter, you're not gonna have them freezing up, which is great. Let's check our horn. Okay, so let's go. So we'll start out with the U-turn, see how that goes. Okay, it does feel like a pretty tight turning radius to me, given the small amount of space that we had here to do the maneuver. So we're gonna have to try it out on a bigger road. The seating position is optimal for an SUV. You set up pretty high where you can see everything around you, the hood, the sides of the car. It's easy to feel the size of the car you're driving. Because in some SUVs you get in them and you have to take your time to adjust to them. Here, you adjust really quickly. The blind zones are minimal. I can see well around the car, especially with these mirrors, which are big, clear, and we have our blind spot indicators right here that will light up when there's a car in our blind zone. So far, my impressions, very positive. I think this is a well-made mid-size SUV, which offers lots of space for legs. You know, I can stretch out my legs comfortably. The seat itself is comfortable, very supportive. This is not the R design seat, so it is not as sporty and bolstering as the R design one is, but still plenty comfortable. The engine is more noticeable in this cabin, so you can hear the revs, like when the engine is spinning out. You can hear it much more than you would in a, per se, a T8 version of this car. We have our manual mode here, and then this is M1, M2, and then to go back to drive, you push it back. I like how Volvo implemented this wood-like material with the beige and then the black. It looks quite elegant, so great job on that. Another thing that you have to know with these vents here, over time, if you use very cold air during the summer, there will be a lot of condensation, and then this condensation can sometimes ruin this plastic right here, like this gloss silver material. So be careful of that. You may want to wipe it up sometimes so it doesn't destroy the trim. So we have plenty of storage space everywhere around the car. It's super practical, so you can put a drink here, some stuff here, your phones, your gum, put in your owner's manual and whatever other stuff you need in your glove box. So as far as the power, this is the B5 model, so this is not the most powerful one. It only has 247 horsepower, which is on par with the entry segment. So if you're looking at a BMW X3, you'll be looking at similar power outputs from the 30i. And same for the Q5. But we will talk more about these cars at the end of the video when I will give a more detailed comparison of all the vehicles. So as far as the performance, it has healthy torque. I'm not forced to press the pedal hard, I'm just barely touching it, and I'm comfortably accelerating up to city speeds. This car does come with a 48 volt electrical engine too. I mean, sorry, battery, not electrical engine. 48 volt battery. So that helps it accelerate down in the low speeds and gives it that instant acceleration. The transmission is snappy to respond. It does have good shifts, clear, crisp shifts, but they're more to the comfortable side. They're more to the comfortable side, and they provide a smooth driving experience. For example, if you were, say, driving a X3 and you put it to Sport Plus mode, transmission into Sport, you're gonna feel kicks. Here, you're not gonna feel any kicks. So even if you depress the pedal, the shifts are still fairly smooth. The only time where you feel a jerk back is when the car's gonna kick down and it's going down a few gears. As far as the handling, it's safe and secure. There is some prevalent body roll in the car, so you can definitely feel this is a bigger car and a heavy car. The handling is more to the Lexus side. So you wouldn't want to take any big, sharp corners on Skyline driving this car. It's not going to work. You can easily flip. As far as the brakes, they are adequate. They have good stopping power. But again, as with Volvo brakes, you have to be careful. They are very, very gentle and very sensitive. So if you stop very hard multiple times over and over again, they will wear fast. On our S60, we've had to replace them almost, I believe this is the 4th time that we've replaced them over a span of 2.5 years. So if you're driving, if you like to drive aggressively and you like to floor the car everywhere and then come to sudden stops, you will have to be replacing your brakes quite often. And after 3 or 4 fast stops, you'll get some feedback in the steering wheel from the brakes, because they do not like that kind of driving style. Volvo's a car where it wants you to just relax and glide, coast, and safely get to your destination. So this engine is optimal for 90% of the buyers who are just trying to get their errands done, drive to work, commute, take kids to soccer practice. It's plenty of power. But if you want to feel a rush of torque, get shoved into the seat, then this is not the right trim for you to be looking at. Look at the T8 instead. So we have an auto start stop system, which shuts off the engine when we're not driving, helps save gas. Well, let's do a 0 to 60 test now, see how the car accelerates, take a quiet drive, and then at the very end I will share my final impressions with you and we'll go over some different aspects of the car. So let's talk about the impressions after the extended drive time. I'm very impressed with this car. It has surpassed my expectations for what I was expecting with this new redesign. And I've enjoyed it, truly. I've really enjoyed this car. It is a little bit too smooth for my taste, so I wish it was stiffer on the ride, because I do get car sick pretty easily, especially in very smooth cars. And this is a smooth car. This is a healthy powertrain. It got me up to speed everywhere I wanted to go and pass all the traffic that I wanted to pass. I do wish it had maybe 60-70 more horsepower under the hood, but this is plenty for normal driving. Has a good amount of passing power. You don't even need to floor this car. All you need to do is just tap the pedal 1/3 or halfway, and it will hit 4,000 RPM, and that is where all its peak torque, all the power is. So these engines in Volvos, they don't peak at high RPMs power-wise, unlike you would expect from a VTEC or something similar, or even BMW. These engines love mid-range power. So if you're trying to push this car over 6,000 RPM, don't even bother. You're not getting anything up there. Its sweet spot is anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000. That is its sweet zone. So once you can get, if you can get the RPMs in there, in that range, you're good. There's no point in having to depress the pedal all the time. It will actually make the car even slower. As far as the sound going into the cabin, I do wish that Volvo insulated it a bit more. Because if there's no music playing and I'm lightly tapping the pedal, the RPMs automatically jump to 2,500 RPM. And I can hear the engine. I can hear it. It's not loud, but it's still pretty prevalent. And I do wish that it was a little bit quieter. Now, if this was a 6-cylinder turbo or another engine, a 5-cylinder, then I would actually want to hear more of it, because it sounds so nice. But with these modern 4-cylinders, don't expect any kind of super duper musical sound from these engines. So anytime you're pressing the pedal, you're gonna hear room, room, room. Something to take in mind. Unfortunately, Volvo does not offer any 6 or 8-cylinder options. For example, the X3 comes with the M40i trim. There's an X3M, so you can choose if you want a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder. Same goes for the Mercedes, where you can choose a GLC 43 AMG or 63. I'm not sure if they are still making these cars to today, which I do believe they are. So at least it gives you options. For this price tag, you're gonna find 4-cylinders on the new market. The handling is safe, secure, very relaxed. So this is a perfect first car for a teenager or someone learning to drive, because it does not provoke fast and unsafe driving. It actually promotes safe and comfortable driving. All these Volvos are limited now to 112 miles an hour, so you're not going anywhere past that. And as you see, they didn't even bother making speed over 130 here on the display, because, well, why? If it's not going to go over 112, then why even bother? As far as the negatives and things that I would change, I do wish that, again, the engine had more insulation and the cabin was quieter in terms of the engine noise. There's almost no wind noise here. It's very hushed besides that. I also wish the base engine had more power to offer, like the Genesis GV70. It gives you almost 300 horsepower in the base trim. Same with BMW, even though they say it's 250 horsepower, and Audi, they are faster than they are claimed to be. So even with 250 horsepower, they are almost a second faster to 60 with launch control. Obviously, without launch control, it's a different topic and it will be slower, but they will still be faster than this car. They will still have higher trap speeds and better 0 to 60s. So I do wish Volvo put some more power into the base trim, maybe like 270 or 280 horsepower, just to get into the sixes. But we still did a very respectable 7.29, which is a good number. I think I think many cars of this class, 4 cylinders, will be somewhere around the 7-second range, just flooring from idle. And we don't know what gas this car has. I'm assuming 93, but who knows? So there is more space to improve the time. I will give this car a strong 8.8 out of 10. And the places where I do mark the points down is, I do wish there was more performance in the B5. I wish the engine was a little bit quieter coming into the cabin. And one more thing is definitely the softness. It's pretty soft.